Believe it or not, I actually named this channel Short Course World because I love short course trucks. I know it's been a while, but boom, let's do a short course review. Hey everybody, Jason here, and I'm back with another review for you guys today. Today we're going to review the 22 SCT 3.0. Let's get going. All right, you can see this is the stock TLR body. Of course, it's painted the best color ever, bright white, so I can see it wherever it's at on the track. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a little bit of browning on the edge of the body. And normally you'd think that's a bad thing, but it's not. It's actually a good thing because it's all laser cut, so this is all perfect right out of the kit. I guess we'll just start up front. The kit is built right out of the box with the kit setup, so the oil, I did raise the oil up 2.5 up front. Everything else in the entire kit is stock. The springs are stock, the pistons are stock, everything is right out of the kit. We've got a Savox 1258 titanium geared servo, AMB old style transponder. It was the only one I had laying around. This is the old big style. This is actually a receiver that I use in a lot of my vehicles. It's the 92744. It's the old receiver from the M11X, but a lot of times I used to buy these because they were so inexpensive, like 49 or 59 bucks, and they still work really well even with my M12. This is an Orion stock ESC, a Reedy battery, and then a SureSpeed 17.5 in there right now. I've run the truck with a whole bunch of different configurations, different tires. I've run it with, right now it has our new Raw Speed slicks on it, but I've run it with these dirt webs. I've run it with Proline Primes. I've run it with electrons. So I've run the truck on a variety of different surfaces, and each time, surprisingly enough, the kit setup was really close. Probably wasn't perfect for every application, but overall I was really impressed with how balanced the kit setup drove at a lot of different locations and a lot of different surfaces. Welcome back. I know it's been a little while since I've actually reviewed a full-on kit. These kit reviews tend to be a ton of work, but I actually enjoy doing them, but I really like to do them right, which is why sometimes they take a little longer than I've anticipated. I bought this truck from a friend who bought it from a hobby shop, and I actually bought this from my buddy Patrick on Christmas Day. So Patrick, thank you for letting me buy this truck off you so I could build it and run it, race it, and of course review it. I guess let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the build. Overall, the build went pretty good. I have to admit to you, sometimes I think I'm just like cursed when it comes to TLR vehicles. There were two things wrong with the build on this truck. One, I'm gonna go ahead and blame on myself. And the second, I'm gonna say it just came wrong from the kit. The first one was that when I put the screws in the transmission to hold the motor plate on, for whatever reason, they just didn't go in well, and I'm going to tell you, there's a really good chance this was my fault. I was using my Makita screwdriver, even though it was set on low, when the screws went in, they just didn't feel right. And so I was convinced that maybe the plate looked like a little cockeyed, so when I went to back the screws out, it actually cracked two of the standoffs on the actual transmission case. I have no idea how it happened. I'm sure that if I would have called Horizon, they would have been happy to just give me a new transmission case. I reached out to other guys that race for TLR, and I reached out to a whole bunch of my friends that actually have TLR kits, and I've never heard of anybody else doing it. So my conclusion is pretty much one of two things. Either A, there was a burr on the screws, unlikely, but possible, or B, maybe when I put the screws in with the driver, I heated them up, and then when I tried to back them out, they had like melted the plastic and just kind of cracked it when it came out. So I'm going to chalk that one up to my failure. Not a big deal. The second one wasn't my fault, and that was that I got the shock bodies for the front and rear of the car were actually two different shades of anodizing. Frank Root, one of the developers of this car that works over at TLR, he put a message on my Facebook page and said, hey, I'm sure that they'll give you a new set, but the truth is I knew that it really wouldn't affect performance, and the shocks are hidden under the body anyways, so I just didn't care. Other than that, everything went together pretty good. A lot of these newer generation vehicles, the screws are tighter in a lot of spots than I wish they were. The screws were a little bit tighter in this than they have been in some of my other kits in the past. And that's also true for the newest Team Associated four-wheel buggy, the B64D. The screws were way tighter in that car than any previous vehicle. I don't know if this is something that the manufacturers are intending to have done or not, but keep in mind, if you start putting screws in a vehicle like this and it just feels really, really tight, maybe back the screw out, add a little bit of chapstick or black grease, and then put it back in, and it'll probably save both the heads of your screws and the tips of your tools. So overall, build experience was pretty good. Couple of problems. One of the biggest of which was probably my fault, I have to admit, but that's about it. That's the build. Let's talk performance. When it comes to performance, there's three basic categories for me: jumping and landing, acceleration and braking, and then cornering. When it comes to jumping and landing, I don't think that any truck lands better than this one. I can't tell you exactly why. I'm not an engineer. I think there's a good chance it has something to do with the larger diameter shock shafts or possibly the geometry, the way the truck was drawn, but this truck lands amazing. It jumps really well. It jumps similar to the other mid-motor platforms, which is a good thing. But in general, none of the mid-motor platforms tend to jump as forgiving as some of the older trucks, like the rear motor trucks, like the SC10. But I would say landing is awesome, jumping is very good. Then it gets into cornering. Cornering is ultimately where you get all of your speed from on the track, and this truck has a tremendous amount of corner speed, a tremendous amount of grip. From what I understand, the arms are just a little bit longer than some of the other trucks that are on the market, and I happen to like that in a design feature. Performance for this truck is very good. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you happen to run on a high grip track, I think this truck it's kind of less darty feeling, like it doesn't want to just kind of like dart around. And if you happen to run on a lower grip track, like say outdoor, I think there's a good chance that you'll like this truck a little bit better than some of the others, specifically because those really long A-arms tend to be a little bit more forgiving and generate more traction, or at least they kind of feel like they're giving you more traction on lower grip surfaces. So that'll do it for performance. Let's talk value. For what you get in the box, I think that this truck is probably about as competitive as you can be today. There are some other trucks that cost a little bit more. There's some trucks that cost a little bit less. I think TLR has positioned this right in the sweet spot. I really like the fact that it comes with wheels in the box. It comes with this nice pre-laser cut body right in the box. That's a huge bonus. Overall, I think the metal and plastic, if you've seen my videos, I always talk about, the double-edged sword or the two-sided coin of value. What you get for metal and plastic in the box, and then the global support you get from the team and other hobby shops actually having parts on the wall. And I think there's a great balance here. Maybe the best balance. What you get for what you pay, great deal. Body, wheels, the quality of the components, the build, just the overall experience of metal and plastic is very, very good. I don't think that TLR does as good of a job on the other side with like setup sheets and having parts stocked in hobby shops and stuff in stock when you need it. But I still think that if you're a TLR fan, there should be nothing holding you back from jumping on this bandwagon. I know this is the 3.0. Obviously, as you're watching this, you know that they've announced the 4.0 buggy. But if we're honest with each other, the 4.0 short course truck and stadium truck, who knows? They could be 8 months, a year out from here. Who really knows? We're racers. We want some parts for go and we want some parts for show. That's why it's so important that other companies jump on board and create parts and an aftermarket for a lot of these different platforms. You notice that a lot of the platforms that don't have a lot of aftermarket support, people just aren't into buying those because they know there just aren't as many options. People like to have options. And while I don't really have anything aftermarket on here, of course right now the truck has some different tires on here and there's a ton of different companies that make tires. There is a pretty solid aftermarket for the 22 platforms in general, whether you're looking for steering parts or pistons or weights or suspension mounts, things like that. There are companies out there that make this, so I would say the aftermarket for this platform is pretty solid. Durability. Nobody wants to buy a vehicle that breaks every time they drive it. You can't win races if you don't finish races. With that said, I think the durability on this truck is actually very good. I don't think any kit out there is unbreakable. And for the record, I don't think that they should be designed unbreakable because if they were, they probably wouldn't be kits you'd actually want to drive. But I would say the durability is very good. I haven't broke this truck yet. I've had some pretty solid tumbles, some pretty solid crashes. I have seen guys break front arms and stuff like that on it from time to time. If I were giving you my advice right now, if you were going to buy this truck, I would say safely, probably buy an extra set of bumpers, buy an extra set of front and rear arms, and you'll probably be pretty safe. TLR has taken steps to increase the durability of the rear hub. I normally would tell you that on some of the other platforms that the ball stud rips out of the rear hub, but not so much on this one. They've taken steps to update the rear hub so it has this nice aluminum plate on it, which is a really nice feature. So overall, I'm gonna have to say that the durability on this truck is very good. Okay, let's talk conclusion. What's the bottom line on TLR's 22 SCT 3.0? It's a solid kit at a solid price. It performs well. The build was pretty good. Of course, I messed my transmission case up and the shock bodies came with 2 different colors of anodizing. So far, I'm the only kit that I've seen that way. My buddy Pat that actually bought this one off, he went and bought another one from the hobby shop like a week later and his was completely dialed. Everything matched. It was perfect. I like it. I think it's a good value. I think it's worth the money. If you're a short course fan or a TLR fan, this would probably be my truck of choice at this point. I just feel the driving characteristics are a little bit more forgiving. The fact that it jumps and lands so forgiving is really nice. And overall, I just think it's a good package out of the box. The laser cut body's nice. The wheels in the box are nice. So I guess that's it, you guys. What do I think about this truck? I would say if you're a short course fan, it's worth the money. All right. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're making more videos, I promise. I know they're taking a little bit more time than we originally intended, but we are working on them. So thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, I'm here at Rain Man's Hobbies and Raceway in my hometown. We got this brand new 22 3.0. It's never been ran ever, so who knows what we're gonna get, but we're gonna put it down and run it right now.
All right, looks like we got about 3 laps down. Leland and Wolfbo, #1 spot. Airborne 2, Hulu 3. Jason Applet for him. It's Saturn number 5. 10 number 6. Neil, Jimmy. Randy D jumped up from the bottom to the top number. Back up of the race. Leland 14.49. Hulu with a 2 with a 15.1. Jason Snyder in the 3 with a 15.8. Randy D 15.3. So Leland coming over the start finish line right now. He's going to be coming up on Jason and that yellow Kilo in the 2 in the start finish line. He's going to end on the 6. Just outside the black car. Jason running the all black car with the yellow wheels. And then down on the black car, that's the leader. Black and white car, thank you very much. Number 2 is Kilo. He has no travel. Ricky G in number 3. He's in trouble right now. He's trying to work through the flag. Right up next to Jason Snyder, number 3. That's number 3. Number 4 is going to be Aaron Ford. He's the start finish line. Ricky G coming up on that red and black bar. Back out of the race, 14.7, and coming out of Leland. All the other drivers only in the 15, came to hit 14. Leland's trying to get to hit 14. So, Leland in the 1, Kilo in the 2. Ricky G up in the 3, looks like he has somebody trying to head him. Jason Snyder in the 4, and Morris in the 5. Third more 6, Apple 7, good 8, let's go 9. On the track right now, race number 6 coming up next. Race number 7, Alvin Bundy. If you're in race number 7, you need to be lining up on the ramp. And we got Leland, 1, 2, 3. Leader has all kinds of open track. He was trying to work out that red black truck. Gets by barely one.
I just want to say thanks again for watching my videos. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you could either like, comment, or even better, subscribe. I post a lot of stuff on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. So if you want to catch up with me, I'll post this stuff up for you. And you can come on over, add me as a friend, follow me on Instagram, and you'll be able to see things that just don't make it to YouTube. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.